ルヴァンカップ2節目になりました。長谷部監督としてはホームのサポーターにどんなサッカーを見せたいでしょうか。
勝利を届けたいです。
やはりそうですか。
はい、
リーグ戦の前節から中3日になりますけれども、選手たちのコンディションはいかがでしょうか。
問題なく今日の試合に 100% いい状態で臨めます。
話せる範囲で構いませんけれども、はい、FC 東京のアルベル監督に関してはどんなサッカーをしてくるというイメージをお持ちですか。
ボールをつなぐ、支配したい、ボールを持ちながら試合を支配したい、そういうふうに、見受けられます。
最後になりますが、サポーターに一言メッセージお願いします。
皆さんに勝利を届けるようチーム一丸となって戦います。今日も応援してください。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
長谷部監督でした。ありがとうございました。
はい、ありがとうございました。
それでは FC 東京アルベル監督です。リーグ戦を含めてこれが2試合目になります。大変な状況だったと思いますが、選手のコンディションはいかがでしょうか。
Segundo partido oficial tras esa condición bastante difícil, ¿cómo ves los jugadores de la condición física?
Bien, evidentemente venimos después de haber pasado pues esta circunstancia del COVID.
このコロナの状況で困難が訪れてきたっていうのは頭に入れておかなくてはいけません。
Hay jugadores que hemos podido recuperar, otros que llevan una semana sin entrenar.
もちろん復帰して間もない選手もいますし、まだコロナによって復帰できてない選手も多くいます。
Nos vienen chicos jóvenes de la academia, también es una buena noticia.
アカデミーの選手が今日メンバー入りしたことは一つ嬉しいニュースではないかと思います。
Bueno, pero es un partido que nos va a servir para primero seguir creciendo en nuestro estilo.
この試合はまず自分たちのスタイルを成長していく上で重要になってくると思います。
Después, coger la forma lo más rápido posible de los jugadores.
そしてフィジカルコンディションを戻していく、そういう意味で捉えたいと思っています。
Y bueno, esperamos como siempre hacer un buen partido, competir y jugar un buen fútbol.
いいゲームをして勝負にこだわって、素晴らしいゲームを皆さんに届けたいと思います。
welcome along to our coverage of Avispa Fukuoka versus F.C.Tokyo, match day 2 of this season's J.LEAGUE YBC Levain Cup. Fantastic to have your company wherever you are across the globe, enjoying this one live and free on YouTube. Best Denki Stadium. Desperate to get their campaign back on track after a 3-1 loss against second division side Shonan Bellmare last week. And while F.C.Tokyo playing their first game in this competition, which they've already won 3 times in their history, 2004, 2009, and then most recently in 2020. It's a Group D match, all 4 groups containing 4 teams each. Just 2 of those will make it through to the playoff phase. A nod and a bow in respect to the spectators, and a start by looking at the home team, Avispa, who haven't had a great start to the season. In truth, they're coming off the back of a 0-0 draw against Vissel Kobe in the league at the weekend that's left them with 2 draws from their 2 league matches so far. And then, as I mentioned, that disappointing 3-1 defeat against lower division Shonan Bellmare last week, which has already left them in a slightly perilous position in this Group D, which also contains in it Jabir Iwata. Intensely competitive group it should be, given that 3 of the 4 teams play their football in the top flight, and as mentioned, Shonan have already got that surprise victory behind them. This is how F.C.Tokyo will line up, with a 4-3-3 system. Those 2 wingers of Kono and Adelton, if they can get them on the ball, will offer a real threat. It will be interesting to see how that matches up against much more of a somewhat straightforward 4-4-2 that's being employed by Avispa Fukuoka coach Shigetoshi Hasebe. In shot there, 50 years old, and looking to steer them realistic expectations this season, most likely to survival in the J-League and then potentially a good cup run as well. The Spanish coach Albert Puig in charge of F.C.Tokyo, as mentioned, have plenty of history in this competition. Unsurprisingly, Avispa Fukuoka in their home strip, which is black with shades of blue, and then F.C.Tokyo in their changed all white away kit with those very thin red and white hoops. At home they play in red and white, but of course they're on their travels today, after being on their travels at the weekend as well, when they lost 1-0 against Kawasaki Frontale. Andrew Damian with the goal that made the difference in that one, meaning that both of these teams are yet to win a game in either league or cup so far this season. We've got a chance to put that right tonight on a chilly night in Fukuoka. Temperature here around the 8 degrees mark. Crisp and chilly evening. See which side can light it up with some goals for us. So off and underway then. Avispa Fukuoka starting off with a terrible miss kick at the back. That's Felice Yamashita. Yamashita's shot is saved by Yamanoi. Well, I was about to say desperate to get their YBC J.LEAGUE Levain Cup campaign back on track after defeat against the second division side Shonan Bellmare last Wednesday. Almost conceded within the first 20 seconds. It's that nervous moment at the back. Headed down by Inoue. Now here come F.C.Tokyo once again, really making a fast start. A second save has to be made by Yamanoi. Being a save you would probably expect him to make in the Avispa Fukuoka goal. An easy run and cut inside from Kono, who highlighted in that starting 11 for F.C.Tokyo. They're attacking well with purpose. Those 2 wide wingers cutting in off their flanks can be a real threat for F.C.Tokyo. Inverted wingers as such, which you see so often in the modern game. course, action coming across all the groups today, and you can keep up with it across the J-League social media channels. Our match here in Group D very much the focus, but of course 16 teams currently battling it out to make it through to the playoff stage of the competition. The regular matches throughout March, April and May, with match day 6 on the 18th of May 2022. And the playoff stage will be two-legged affairs in early June, followed by the quarter-finals in August, semi-finals in September, and the final in October, as Nagoya Grampus, who won it last season for the first time in their history, try and retain their crown. First touch of the evening for Slovic, in goal for F.C.Tokyo. Nodded on by a Delton, but to nobody, and then hooked somewhat aimlessly clear back towards Slovic, the Polish goalkeeper, who lets it run out of play. Immediately on a high press, Avispa Fukuoka. Up to F.C.Tokyo to try and break out of it. They do quite nicely. Yamashita. Back with Slovic. Ogawa. Okaniwa. Both sets of fans in good voice and to be heard. Both the travelling F.C.Tokyo instrumental band and the home one for Avispa Fukuoka have been going through their series of tunes pre-match just to try and whip up the atmosphere here. It's quite a big ground. It's a long way from full, but those that are in are certainly making themselves heard, which is great to see. Patient possession from F.C.Tokyo. All over the top, but side flag was very quickly up there against Nakamura, who, despite being a right back, much like a lot of modern fullbacks, doesn't need too much of a second invitation to get forward, and they have a defensive structure such that when he and Okinawa down the left flank do so, there is an awareness of the need to cover them for the potential of a quick counter-attack. Down by Tanabe. Sugimoto fighting for it and doing well, but then ending up nipping the ball out for a goal kick, having done well to avoid a couple of challenges. Ogawa. Now back with Slovic, who's had plenty of touches of the ball early on. Avispa really pressing hard the pitch here. On Ogawa. Okinawa. Aoki. Picked up by Tanabe, who's fouled. Once again, the early pattern continues. Keeping the ball here, F.C.Tokyo, without necessarily doing a huge amount with it. And the low block defence is enough from Fukuoka. Themselves can't keep the ball for long. Certainly not going to miss Juanma Delgado with that pink streak in his hair. Avispa Fukuoka striker who you could do with a goal from. A goal from anywhere so far, Avispa Fukuoka. Only won in their 2 games across all competitions so far this season. Of course, far too early to start really looking at the J-League table in any kind of significance, but F.C.Tokyo won't be particularly chuffed to be the only team in the 18-team division who are yet to register a point this season, albeit they have only played 1 game. The vast majority of teams in the J-League have already played 2 or 3. In fact, they and the defending YBC J-League Levain Cup champions Nagoya Grampus are the only 2 teams in the division to have played just the 1 match. Avispa Fukuoka winless after 2 draws. Clipped forward by Kumamoto. Out of play from Sugimoto. He does get the throw in his favour eventually, after a bit of deliberation from the referee. Good skills from Adelson. Just ran out of room. Fighting hard to try and win it back. Now maybe a bit of space for Avispa to break. Foul on Delgado, but we're playing on. Tanaka makes the run down the right. And we might be coming back for a yellow card here because that wasn't the best of challenges on Juanma Delgado. Well, here's another look at the challenge. No part of the ball picked up, but a significant part of Juanma Delgado's foot picked up. So booking for Masato Morishige, the F.C.Tokyo captain. Not really what you want early on in the game as a centre-half. He's going to have to be very careful from now on. Juanma Delgado loses that one. Rare chance for F.C.Tokyo to attack here. Ball forward from Abe. He's now offering himself on the overlap. That's a great slipped ball in behind. Could be the first corner of the game and is the first corner of the game. Clever move down that right flank by F.C.Tokyo. And they've got themselves this set-piece chance. Ryoya to take it. Ogara's ball in. Not cleared. Couldn't quite get a shot off. Might do so now. Headed away by Kumamoto. And a bit of a game of pinball around that penalty box. Ends with Fukuoka doing enough to clear their lines. Good aggressive challenge by Wako, home captain. Both teams chasing what would be their first win of the season across all competitions. You'd say of the two, this game is particularly important for Avispa Fukuoka, who nearly found themselves behind here. Corner causing some problems in the box, but did just about enough to get it clear. Remember, a defeat for Avispa to Shonan Bellman leaves them in a particularly vulnerable position in the group. One thing you do find with these groups in the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP is do tend to be very, very tight. We've got the teams that are in Asian Champions League qualification not present at this stage in the competition, of course. They join later on. And then you also have the fact that it's, of course, only the very best of the second division sides that join the overwhelming majority of teams in the competition at this stage who play their football in the top flight. And that means that even getting out of your group can be a fiendishly difficult task. All 18 teams playing in the competition from the top flight, as well as the top two relegated teams from the league last season. And then Kawasaki Frontale, Yokohama F. Marinos, Vissel Kobe, who, of course, played against Fukuoka at the weekend. And then Yoara Red Diamonds will all join at the quarter-final stage after receiving byes for the group and playoff stages of the competition. Excellent cross-field ball, and now a chance to run at the defence for Abe. Back to Morishige. He switches it. Okaniwa. Quarter of an hour gone, and yet to see a clear-cut opportunity for either side. Delzon can't keep that one alive. It's the frustration of the visiting manager. Avispa with only 2 goals in their 3 matches across all competitions so far this season. Tokyo have struggled for goals as well, it must be said. Kaniwa gets it away to Adelson. Tanabe well marshalled. Crossfield ball finds the Delton in plenty of space. Sokaniwa behind him. Not his best pass. Easily cut out by Moriyama. Good tussle in midfield, won by F.C.Tokyo. Nice link-up play. Now set wide for the run of Tanaka. Moriyama. By Kumamoto. Now Inoue. Nakamura has to deal with it. Would have been a corner had it managed to run all the way out. That is a corner. Slightly carelessly given away by Masato Morishige. Was under some pressure from Juanma Delgado. It seemed a touch unnecessary to end up conceding the set piece so easily there. And it will be a first corner of the game for Avispa Fukuoka. That's got the home fans into particularly good voice. Way to our left-hand side, they'll be attacking those most passionate home fans in the second half of this game. Bit of a bus stop routine just at the top of the penalty area. First corner of the game for Avispa Fukuoka. Comes to nothing, but they'll get a second chance. That doesn't come to much either. Well, they'll have to reset and recycle all the way back to Yamanoi. Takumi Yamanoi making his first appearance of the season in goal for Avispa Fukuoka. Murakami Masaki has already played a couple of times, and Nagaishi Takumi has also played a game. We do often see that the YBC J.League Levain Cup is a good chance for young players to get opportunities. Takumi Yamanoi playing one game in the second division in 2020 for Avispa Fukuoka, and now finally getting his chance once more after a lot of time either being on the bench or not in the squad since then, such is the life of being a third choice goalkeeper. Feature there, Sato Yazuwa. Avispa Fukuoka right back. He's one of a core of players who have started all three of their matches so far this season. Here is Yazuwa. Still going and eventually dealt with by Okaniwa. Thrown taken quickly into the physical presence of Delgado, but ends up being a goal kick. Avispa Fukuoka, a club who have frequently been something of a yo-yo club over the years, promoted to the J1 League several times and then often finding themselves falling back into the second division within a year. Think of them as being in that bracket, as they might have scored here. They have scored! All too easy for Avispa Fukuoka, who are in front. Tatsuya Tanaka with the goal. Desperate to get back on track after that 3-1 loss against second division side Shannon Belmar in their YBC J.League Levain Cup opener last week. And they're in front here. A goal out of absolutely nothing. Slightly careless from F.C.Tokyo down their right flank. And the cross in found a defence that was wholly unequipped to deal with it. All credit to Avispa Fukuoka, though. It's a great ball in. What a first touch and a finish from Tatsuya Tanaka. And simple as that. A game that's not really offered a clear-cut chance for either side yet in any meaningful way, shape or form, suddenly has a goal. Right on the midway point of this first half. Delton gets a foot on it. And Adelton's managed to get him behind. And Yamanoi does just enough. Oh, a very quiet first quarter, and now this game has really opened up all of a sudden. Cross wildly over here. Clever ball in, and Adelton did all the right things. And just as he was about to shoot on his trusty right foot, was stopped by Takumi Yamanoi, the keeper, doing really, really well. Alert to the danger. A milestone goal as well, it must be said, for Tatsuya Tanaka. It's his first for Avispa Fukuoka since joining in the summer from the Urawa Red Diamonds. His last goal for them coming in a 2-1 win against the Yokohama F. Marinos on the 20th of November. Shuto Abe not happy with the challenge and feeling like there should be further punishment for it. Work to do now for F.C.Tokyo to get back into this one. Remember that although this is a cup game, if you're unfamiliar with the format of the J.LEAGUE YBC Levain Cup, this match does not have to be decided today as such. It is a group game, 4 groups of 4, double round robin, so everyone plays everyone once at home and once away. 6 games for things to be decided in terms of the top 2 to make it through to the playoff phase. And you win that, then into the quarter-finals, where you'll join the 4 teams who are in Asian Champions League action. You get an automatic bye straight to the last date of the competition. Also worth noting that things aren't decided, as in some competitions across the world, initially on your record against the whole of the division. If 2 teams are tied, it goes down initially to head-to-head record, having run through all the various head-to-head metrics, with head-to-head away goals, the last of those, as a potentially decisive factor, and then gets widened out into your goal difference across the whole group. Ball back for Adelton. He looked like he was going to try an overhead kick there. Avispa Fukuoka just about scramble it clear. Goal's got the home fans into good voice. Scored too many this season. It's their 4th game, it's only their 3rd time that they found the back of the net. As I mentioned, Avispa Fukuoka, one of the somewhat yo-yo clubs of the Japanese league scene. You also think of the likes of Kyoto Sanga, Hokkaido Consadole Sapporo, and Shonan Bellmare, who were relegated last season and beat Avispa 3-1 last week. Okaniwa, Delton. Delton with a touch that was too heavy. There was that chance to a close. Avispa Fukuoka having one of their best seasons in their history last season. I mentioned the fact that they've been known as a bit of a yo-yo club. Managed to finish 8th in the J-League last season. It was the first time in their history, going back to 1996, they've managed to finish in the top half of the division. Bit of a surprise package, and now the task for them will be trying to repeat that this time around, with many predicting they will find it a bit more difficult to maintain that. Came up in 2020, finishing 2nd in the 2nd division, having spent 4 years down in the 2nd tier of Japanese football. Contrast that to F.C.Tokyo, who are very much established as members of the top flight. Did have 1 season in the J2 League in 2011, and they came straight back up as champions. But apart from that, ever since their turn of the millennium in 2000, every other season they've been in the top division. They finished 9th last season, 1 place behind Avispa Fukuoka in the eventual table. These two finishing 9th and 8th respectively out of 18 teams. F.C.Tokyo trying to create something. Okaniwa and Delton. Okaniwa recycles. Watanabe. Okaniwa inside. Still yet to really test Takumi Yamanoi, apart from that one moment when Adelton managed to break through on that inside left channel, and Yamanoi had to come out and smother the ball at the feet of Adelton to stop the shooting chance. That's nicely done though. Well worked by Abe and Kono up that right flank. No one could quite bring the cross down. Okaniwa inside. The ball from Adelton has too much on it. Runs out for a goal kick. Thinking to do for F.C.Tokyo about how to get back into this one. Of course, the side definitely not short on pedigree in this competition. Won it 3 times, most recently in 2020, and were semi-finalists last season. As well as winning it 3 times, they've reached the semi-finals on 3 occasions in 2012, 2016, and then last time around. Contrast that to Avispa, who've never got further than the quarterfinals, which they managed back in 2016. Indeed, as I mentioned, have spent more seasons than not in the 2nd division of Avispa Fukuoka, which, unless you've been just relegated to it from the top flight, means you're not actually eligible to play in this cup competition. So have only ever got to the quarterfinals, but they've only actually competed in the YBC J.League Levain Cup in just 7 of the last 20 editions of it. In fact, I beg your pardon, 7 of the last 25 editions of it throughout their history. The vast majority of those have not made it past the group stage. That's the home fans' voices you can hear right now. Avispa Fukuoka very happy with where things sit, thanks to Tatsuya Tanaka's first goal for his new club, after joining from the Urawa Red Diamonds in the summer. Eventually the ball does go out of play. Lovely bit of skill from Konno, drifting and turning his way through the defence, drawing the foul. Free kick in a dangerous area. Nicely done by Kazuya Konno. Likely gets a hand slap of appreciation from Ryoma Watanabe. Could be Konno. Two options over it, in swinging and out swinging. Might be the in swinging delivery of Ryo Ogawa, who's commonly on set pieces for F.C.Tokyo. Could be Konno. Looks like Konno is going to leave it for Ogawa. Ogawa to hit one off the underside of the bar, and the rebound is gathered by Yamanoi. What a brilliant free kick from Ryo Ogawa. It had Takumi Yamanoi beaten. But it didn't have the bar beaten. It was dipping, just not quite dipping enough. And the rebound as well caused a few nerves. The header from Taka Nakamura, nervously gathered by Yamanoi eventually. Yamanoi getting rare chance in goal tonight for Avispa Fukuoka. Into the last 10 minutes of normal time in this first half. Takumi Yamanoi managing to keep his sheet clean for now. 23-year-old getting a rare opportunity to impress tonight. I mentioned before that more often he finds himself fighting his way up the pecking order in terms of the goalkeeping situation at Avispa Fukuoka, with Murakami Masaki, the 29-year-old, and Nagashi Takumi, the 26-year-old, in there as well. Shigetoshi Hasebe, very proactive on the touchline. We'll be aware of the fact that although his side are 1-0 up, F.C.Tokyo are having a bit of a good spell here. forward towards Delgado. Well dealt with by Ogawa. Okaniwa. Ogawa crossfield for Morishige. Nakamura. F.C.Tokyo just looking for a spell of calm possession to allow them to reset a bit. It's just their second game of the new season after that 1-0 defeat at Kawasaki Frontale back on the 18th of February. After this one, they've got a trip to Suizo Osaka in the third round of the J1 League at the weekend. And they're at home against Hiroshima, followed by an away game at Kyoto Sanga. Those are their next 3 games in the league. Their next in action in this competition at home against Shonan Bellmare on the 26th of March, having been relegated from the top flight last season. Shonan, of course. Good tackle from Adelton, who is a slightly frustrated figure as he slaps his hand on the ground in disappointment. He's been involved a lot so far, the Brazilian, without quite necessarily managing the level of output he wants. It's Delgado who's got him behind here. He thought of shooting for a second. It's a good pullback for Drogo, who tests Slovak. It's a save that you would expect the Polish goalkeeper to make, though, and he made it. Kono might have a go here. Headed away by Inui, the centre half. Kazuyo Kono looking very threatening for F.C.Tokyo down that right flank. Wako wins it, but then promptly isn't able to get it clear. Doesn't really relieve the pressure on them at all. Delgado. Wako forward. Delgado again. Well, that just sort of sums up how well marshalled Juanma Delgado has been for large parts of this game. The fact that he finds himself in the left-back position there. But did find a good pocket of space there. Pulled it back for Sasi Drogo. Managed to test Jakub Slovic, over the veteran 35-year-old striker. He's adored and loved in these parts. Past a decade of playing for Avispa Fukuoka, but well off target there. Sashi Drogo tested Jakub Slovic moments ago, but only tested the volunteers behind the goal. They've got to fetch the ball and bring it back. Didn't manage to score last season in the league for Avispa Fukuoka. Managed to grab 3 goals in 5 games in this competition, though. Played more than 300 games in his career for Avispa Fukuoka. Very much will go down as a legend in these parts when he does retire. Yamashita's header was looking for Adelton, didn't quite find him. To the dying moments of this first half. link play from Delgado, doesn't quite find Jogro. Have looked most promising when they've attacked down this right flank, F.C.Tokyo. The combination play between Otoka Nakamura, Shuto Abe and Kazuya Kono has been good. Had a very good understanding of each other. Nice first time header by Delton. It didn't quite fall for the intended target of Shuto Okaniwa. Another example of what I mentioned, which is in this system that they play, this 4-3-3 F.C.Tokyo, Shuto Okaniwa and Otaka Nakamura, the two wing-back positions, really do get very far forward. Urged to always be looking for overlapping runs, hugging that touchline, and then looking for link-ups with Delton and Kono. Here is Delton. A bit isolated. Gets a half-decent cross in. Foul by Kainte Yamashita just relieves the pressure. At this point, I'm sure Avispa Fukuoka will have their eyes on seeing this one through to half-time. Game management, as they call it in modern football parlance. Just 90 seconds or so plus stoppages, and we've had a pretty free-flowing first half. I expect it might be just the cursory minute added on here. Good run by Watanabe, but all slightly carelessly given away. Throw by Kumamoto. Well, you would say, assuming this is the scoreline that we're to end up getting at half-time, which increasingly looks like it is, it will be a bit of a harsh reflection on the balance of play. It's been a pretty even game with clear-cut chances few and far between. Pass from Suto not quite working out. See his disappointment. F.C.Tokyo 1-0 down after that defeat to start their league campaign off. Being desperate to avoid a repeat in the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP. Of course, it is a 6-match group stage, so plenty of time to make things up if you do lose your first game. But you won't want to be playing catch-up. Saying as well, plenty of games going on across Japan in this competition as we speak. This one of 8 matches in progress, 7 kicking off at the same time as us approaching half-time mark. Highlights so far, 3 goals in the game between Oita and Gamba Osaka. Oita have just gone 2-1 up there. And then Kyoto Sanga versus Sagantosu, which kicked off a bit earlier. It's currently 1-0 to the home side, having just gone past the hour mark. Clever ball forward. Is there to be a late equaliser? It's a decent cross from Abe, and it was well defended too. And again, Shuto Abe is left a bit frustrated. He did everything right here, followed his run, and put a good ball in, but was well defended by Seiya Inui. And Avispa Fukuoka hold out for half-time. They have the lead thanks to that goal at the midway point of this half from Tatsuya Tanaka. His first goal for Avispa Fukuoka since joining from the Urawa Red Diamonds in the summer. And that is what is the difference between the teams as Avispa look to get back on track after losing their first game in this J.LEAGUE Levain CUP group stage last week against Shonan Bellmare. F.C.Tokyo in their first game in the competition. The 3-time winners find themselves a goal behind at half-time here at the best Denki Stadium. It is Avispa Fukuoka 1, F.C.Tokyo 0. Welcome back to the best Denki Stadium for the second half of this YBC J.League Levain Cup clash between Avispa Fukuoka and F.C.Tokyo. You're watching a big moment in the career of Yuta Arai, wearing number 48. And shot there. He's just come on, 17-year-old, to make his senior debut for F.C.Tokyo. Born on the 13th of June 2004. I'm sure plenty of us, including yours truly, can remember exactly where we were in 2004. Yuta Arai was just coming into the world, and now here he is, a midfielder getting his chance for F.C.Tokyo, having come on at the break. Any change for either side from that first half. But Fukuoka, much like F.C.Tokyo, looking for their first win in League or Cup so far this season. After a couple of draws in the league and a 3-1 defeat in their opening YBC J.League Levain Cup match last week against Shonan Bellmare. F.C.Tokyo, 3-time winners of this competition. There'll be plenty of eyes on the youngster Arai to see what he can do. Can help them get back into this game. From our commentary position on this chilly evening in Fukuoka, it will be F.C.Tokyo attacking from left to right as we look at things in this second half in the white strip with the white shorts and then the white socks in that very deep blue bordering on black. All home kit. Avispa Fukuoka will be attacking from right to left as we glance at things. Tetsuya Tanaka's goal in the 23rd minute, the difference between the two teams, the first for his new club after joining in the close season from Urawa Red Diamonds. Sugimoto clears under pressure. Morishige recycles for Nakamura. Won by Delton. He cycles back for Ogawa, who hit the bar with a brilliant free kick in the first half. Easily the closest that F.C.Tokyo have come to a goal. Just had a few poor touches in attack in first half F.C.Tokyo. The build-up play was very impressive, particularly down the right, that axis of Kono, Abe and Nakamura. Attempted ball in behind for Chogro doesn't quite work. Of course, it should be said in defence of F.C.Tokyo, as that's a nice turn by Arai, the 17-year-old, having just come on. Got a left back playing as a makeshift centre back in defence as well. Need to reorganise somewhat defensively. Here's Arai once more. What a story it would be if the 17-year-old could help turn this tide. This low cross is cleared by Tanabe. Ryowa Ogawa, the mentioned, who is filling in at centre-back. Kono. Kono again, sets it up for Nakamura. Kono goes down, quickly back to his feet. That is a foul from Sugimoto. He's been bright down that inside right and inside left channel for F.C.Tokyo. Kazuya Kono. His trickery and ability to slalom between defenders. Two in the wall, but not really expected to shoot from here. That would be something of a surprise. Ryowa Ogawa, the normally waltzing down the wing for F.C.Tokyo, filling in at centre-back tonight rather than down the left flank. He's going to whip this one in. I've left only one in the wall now, Avispa. He's going to look to get this in between that defensive line and the goalkeeper in that awkward sort of no man's land area where if anyone gets a touch on it, there's every chance it ends up in the net. It is into that area, headed away by Delgado. Kicks across back in, kept alive, hooked away. Avispa Fukuoka under pressure. Chance, And that's a good save, and it needed to be as well from Takumi Yamanoi. Had to make one at the feet of Adelton in the first half. That was one of the best saves we've seen either keeper make all game. Delgado appealing for a foul. The referee tells him to get to his feet. No advantage being played. Avispa Fukuoka have the ball regardless, and Tanaka, the goal scorer, is able to win the throw. Lovely cut inside. And what's the shot like? It's off the inside of the bar. Off the post from Taro Sugimoto, so close. F.C.Tokyo hit the bar in the first half, and now Avispa Fukuoka have hit the post in the second. Decent cross. It comes off the shoulder of the defender, Ogawa, so Jogo's header results in a corner off Ogawa. And the first corner of the second half will go to Avispa Fukuoka, who so nearly had a second thanks to Taro Sugimoto. Lovely turn inside, and it meant that Hotaka Nakamura wasn't going to get to him before he could take the shot. And you thought for a second, I'm sure I wasn't the only one, that he bent that into the corner. Hadn't quite done so, Taro Sugimoto. Would have been his second ever goal for Avispa Fukuoka. Scored one in the Emperor's Cup last season. Didn't score in his 25 matches in the Japanese top flight league. So that's clipped up by Abe. Headed away by Yuzawa. Youngster Arai in there fighting for it. Gets the throw. Delgado. Sugimoto sets it back and over the bar from Sultan Tanabe. That was another good opportunity. This time Sugimoto acting as provider for the 31-year-old Tanabe. Changes, it seems, maybe being readied on the tactics board by Robert Puig. I'm sure his opposite number in the home dugout, Shigetoshi Masebe, will also be thinking about tactical changes. Delgado with a clever ball round the corner. Tanaka keeps it alive, but well gathered by Slovik. Yellow card for Juanma Delgado. Somewhat unnecessary one to pick up there. Of course, that can accumulate as the season goes on to potential one-match suspension for picking up 5 of them. Whipped cross, and it's missed by Slovak. And there was Nakamura doing his defensive duties to bail out his keeper. At a very nervy moment there. Yama runs it out of play. 10 minutes into the second half. It's definitely been a much livelier first 10 minutes of the second half than we saw in the early exchanges of the first. Substitutes being readied for both teams. No shortage of options, and of course with the way that football has changed in the coronavirus era, all the more chances to use the bench and change things. Once upon a time, substitutes bench used to contain just the one player on it. And now, of course, in a very different era, plenty of options for both teams and plenty of different changes they can make. Numbers seeming to stretch only further as time goes on. Nagaishi, the backup keeper for Avispa Fukuoka, who also have Mei. Tajima, Groli, the Brazilian, Shichi, Toya and Watari. 6 on the bench today for F.C.Tokyo, as well as Kodama, the substitute keeper. There's Matsumoto, Oji, Kajura, Hirakara, and then the youngster who's acquitted himself well since coming on, Yuta Arai, the 17-year-old, came on for Shuto Akaniwa. Kono, it's been bright. Anyone can Tokyo get back into this game, you'd expect it might be him. Nakamura, Ushige on, Aoki, space out here for Arai. He's come on at left back. Trying to roam forward, but sort out of that one easily enough. Nakamura, sort of hitting one there. Gets it away to Arai. Twisting and turning and seeming to confuse himself for a second there almost. Aoki forward, well held up by a Delton. It's definitely done. A Delton appealing to the referee saying he was fouled. The referee not remotely interested. Tokyo have been in something of a slump in the last year or so. They finished second in the J-League in 2019, 6th in 2020, then 9th last year. They won this competition in 2020, desperate to get back to the very top of Japanese football, but if they lose this game, it will be defeats to start off their season in both League and Cup. And to try and ensure that happens, Avispa Fukuoka going to make a couple of changes. In fact, it looks like it will be a treble substitution. And this is the luxury that the new regulations allowing to 5 substitutes per team enable you to do. Tatsuya Tanaka comes off after scoring his first goal for his new club. It'll be a nice night for him to remember, providing they can hold on here. Sato Azura has come off as well, as has Juanma Delgado. Yuji Ijatima coming on for Juanma Delgado. Cleared by Yamanoi. Yogo can't quite bring the ball down. Taki Watari coming on as part of those treble substitutions. Delton, often a key creative figure for FC Tokyo. They really need him to produce something, try and get them back into this one. Past the hour mark, still behind. And then the third of the free to come on there, Douglas Grolli, the Brazilian defender. Started in both of the league draws so far, playing the full 90 minutes, but now Douglas Grolli comes on for his first YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP appearance of the season. Free kick in a good position here. Second goal would go a long way towards securing the 3 points for Avispa Fukuoka, albeit far from guaranteeing it, of course. F.C.Tokyo do just enough to defend the set piece. Interesting to see how that trio of substitutions for Avispa Fukuoka affect the flow of the game. Here is one of them, Watara. Sugimoto. This cross cleared. Still got two more changes in the bank, of course. Up to a couple of years ago, that triple substitution would have been incredibly risky were you to make it at this point in the game, because it would mean that if you had any injuries from this point onwards, so that's a wild miss kick from Naoki Wako. It would mean that any more injuries would leave you down to 10 players for the rest of the game, not able to bring a replacement on. This is just one of 8 games going on across the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP today, first of which has finished now. Otis Sanga winning 2-1 against Sagan Tosu. That game in Group C, of course. We're here in Group D action. Bit of miscommunication at the back from F.C.Tokyo, and here comes Sugimoto. Good spell this for Avispa Fukuoka. First time cross. Watara sets it back, gets the flick on. Watara just wouldn't quite drop for him to shoot. Was well seen out eventually by the youngster Yutaro Arai. Denki Watara. Just not quite able to get a shot away in the end. Certainly causing some problems, though. It's the 30th anniversary of the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP. It's complementary to the Emperor's Cup, which is the other big cup competition in Japanese football. It's a bit of a different format, though, of course, in that only the 18 top 5 clubs plus the 2 that were relegated last season enter this competition, which, of course, is not the same in the Emperor's Cup. Emperor's Cup combining clubs from all divisions of professional football in Japan. Celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP, which was won by Verdi Kawasaki in each of the first 3 editions, but the nature of how unpredictable this competition has been more recently is actually repeat winners are very rarely seen. The last team to successfully defend their title, the Kashima Antlers, who won it back-to-back in 2011 and 2012. Antlers have won it once since then in 2015, but in every year since 2012 we've had a different winner to the previous year, and indeed we've rarely seen a side that have won it the previous year managing to make it back to the final, which shows you what an exciting and unpredictable competition it can be. So that's a total miss kick that is easily collected by Jakub Slovik. Moment to forget for Takuya Aoki, who really scored an inadvertent own goal. Koei Grampus beating Suizu Osaka 2-0 in the final at Saitama Stadium in last year's competition. There goes the youngster Arai. Has a go. That would have been quite a way to mark his debut in senior football. Arai, born in July of 2004. Trying to make his mark on the professional game. Slipped as he hit it. Trying to find an equaliser for F.C.Tokyo, who hit the bar through Ryoya Ogawa's free kick in the first half. Speaking of winners of this competition, F.C.Tokyo last won it in 2020. 2-1 victors against Kashiwa Reysol in the final at the National Stadium. Won it 3 times. In all 3 times they've got to the final, they've won it. Only the Kashima Antlers have won this competition more often. The Antlers winning it 6 times. Tokyo Verdy have also won it 3 times too. Second change coming for F.C.Tokyo. Kazuya Kono coming off. I'm a touch surprised by that. He's been bright down the wing tonight for the away side. It's looked like being one of the players more likely to make something happen. It's a straight swap in terms of an attack-minded change. Hirakara trying to cause problems down the wing now. Hirakara, who had a loan spell last season at Matsumoto Yamaga in the 2nd division, and didn't manage to score in his 19 appearances, has played a few games here and there across various seasons in rare opportunities for F.C.Tokyo. Great ball through, it's made it to Arai. Arai shoots off target and off balance. Really good work from Adelton to set up the chance. Just divvied on it a second too long and then lost his footing as well. The opportunity was gone for the 17-year-old, who's certainly, to his great credit, hesitant to try and make an impact on the game. First time ball forward from Adelton. By Douglas Growley. All right, charging down that right flank, but not quite able to keep it in play. Certainly shown some bright moments, the 17-year-old. You wouldn't say that looks particularly out of place. He's got the courage to get on the ball and try and make things happen. Plenty going on, of course, across the Japanese football scene. At international level, there's Japanese national side building towards the 2023 AFC Asian Cup, which will be from the 16th of June to the 16th of July next year. Japan qualifying with 8 wins from 8, 46 goals scored and conceding just the 2. Japan looking to win the Asian Cup for a record 5th time. Already the most successful team in the competition with their 4 victories. They were runners-up in last edition in 2019, losing 3-1 to hosts of the Men's World Cup this year, Qatar. Competition back in 2019 held in the UAE. Real transitional time at the moment for Japanese football, both on and off the pitch as well, with Yoshikazu Nonomura, the chairman of First Division side Consadole Sapporo, effectively being selected to be the next J-League chairman. He'll take over this month, and the 49-year-old will be the first chairman to have actually played out there on the pitch in the J-League. He'll replace the incumbent chairman, Suo Murai, in March, which of course we've now just entered into. Brilliant crossfield ball for a Delton. It just has too much on it. See exactly what was trying to be done though. Thinking to do for Shigetoshi Hasebe as his side try and close this one out. Win here would get their campaign back on track after that 3-1 defeat against Shonan Bellmare last week. Ball in, and a really good save at the near post. That is a fantastic piece of goalkeeping from Takumi Yamanoi. Delton's cross. Well, it's hit the post and it's actually got stuck under the body of Yamanoi, but he's had the presence of mind to just clutch onto the ball and make sure, as it can do so often in situations like that, that it doesn't end up ricocheting into the back of the net. If they do manage to hold this one out to win it 1-0, save will be a key moment in the game. A bit of luck, but a bit of judgment in there too. And given the amount of stick that goalkeepers get if they do make a mistake, because when they do, it most likely does, of course, lead to conceding a goal. They certainly deserve their fair share of praise when they get it right. Foul by Daiki Watara on his fellow number 16, Takuya Akoi. In the other game in this group, Shonan Bellmare, despite being relegated from the J-League last season, set to pull off something of an upset once again. They're 1-0 up away at Chibio Iwata. Ikeda with the goal just before half-time. So if that stayed as it is, it would carry them on to 2 wins from 2 so far. Avispa Fukuoka would have 1 win and a defeat. F.C.Tokyo as well as Jubilo Iwata would both have 1-0 losses to their name from 1 game played so far. Only 2 changes made by FC Tokyo, so not exactly short of options on their bench to make alterations if needed, and it looks like Albert Puig is going to have to make a substitution here. Takuya Aoki looks in some considerable discomfort. So the visiting boss is going to have to work out how to rearrange his pack to try and get back into this game. He's only got 6 players on the bench tonight, including Kodama, the backup keeper. He's already used 2 substitutions, so realistically, there's only 3 options of who to bring on. And it looks like he's going to turn to Yuki Kajura, the 18-year-old defender, who will make just his 2nd ever appearance for FC Tokyo. Horrible moment for Takuya Aoki right at the start of the new season in just FC Tokyo's 2nd game of the new campaign. Is stretchered off. Albert Puig isn't happy about something. Might be the lack of further punishment for the challenge. Doesn't appear to have been a yellow card given out for it. So on comes the 18-year-old. Known as defender and a midfielder, relatively positionally versatile, so I wonder whether he might just slot straight in where Aoki was at the base of that midfield. He's made just 1 appearance for FC Tokyo before this game. That came in the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP last year. Played 25 minutes off the bench in a 1-1 draw against Oita at home back on the 19th of May 2021. Indeed, so often it is this competition that tends to give players their first opportunity at first team level. So 3 changes now have been made, I should say, by both sides. Foul on a Delton. Nearing the last 10 minutes of normal time in this one. And Avispa Fukuoka hold out for their first win in all competitions this season at the 4th attempt. Can FC Tokyo find a route back? Next up after this one for Avispa, they've got a home game here this weekend against Contadole Sapporo, and then they've got 3 consecutive away games in all competitions. They travel to Kashiwa Reysol and then Canberra Osaka, both in the Japanese top flight. And then in this competition, the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP, they're away against Tribute Iwata in their last match of March. April starts with back-to-back home league games against Sagan Tosu and the Kashima Antlers. Shigetoshi Asebe's side. As for Albert Puig's FC Tokyo, the weekend they're at home against away, I should say, against Rizo Osaka, and then next at home against Hiroshima on the 12th of March. Dalton forward, looking for the 1-2, trying to burst through, and he's managed to win a corner at Delton. A good surging run. FC Tokyo desperate to find a route back. It's a clever pass into a dangerous area that forced a defensive response. Almost into the last 10 minutes. bad corner. Might run at that back post. Nakamura. Shot was well dealt with by Wako. Slovic, Polish goalkeeper, a long way from home, sending it forward, but not really near a white shirt. Making Waitara. If they can grab one on the counter attack, they'll go a long way to pocketing the 3 points. Shigotoshi, Seibe's side, looking for a first win of the season, the 4th attempt in all competitions, a 1-1 home draw against Jabiro Iwata to start off their league campaign. Of course, Jabiro Iwata also in this Group D of this YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP group stage. Then had a 3-1 defeat against Shonan Bellmare last Wednesday, and then the weekend a 0-0 draw away at Vissel Kobe. Could also be back-to-back clean sheets, of course, for Avispa Fukuoka after a goalless draw against Vissel Kobe at the weekend. All right. Lovely slip ball in behind by Yuta Arai for his fellow substitute in Kajura, who just couldn't quite make the most of it. Some really nice touches there from the 17-year-old. Ball in, not really cleared. And a Delton's header, and saved by Yamanoi. Just a touch too close to the keeper from a Delton. Decent effort by the Brazilian, though. F.C.Tokyo still hunting their first goal of the season, of course. It's that 1-0 defeat at the weekend and 1-0 down again here. Dalton almost being the man to provide it there. Scored in the penultimate game of last season in 2-1 win away at Hiroshima. Playing on here despite the fact Sugimoto is down. Well, it's not a head injury, so F.C.Tokyo are perfectly within their rights to play on here. And indeed, Taro Sugimoto has got back up to his feet. They wouldn't have had much cause for complaint. Avispa Fukuoka, only in the sense that when they themselves had the ball, they chose not to put the ball out of play to allow their own player to get treatment. Fourth change of the evening coming for Avispa Fukuoka. Hiroyuki Mei, the 26-year-old midfielder, is coming on for Kamiya Moriyama. Pretty much a straight swap in that central midfield area, more or less. Hiroyuki Mei, a regular in recent seasons for Avispa Fukuoka. This is third campaign with them. Part of the side that got promoted from the Japanese second division in 2020, and then a big consistent part of the side that stayed up in 2021. I think previously played his football with Sapporo and Toholyhook. Chance for 2-0. Chance to seal it wide. What an opportunity for Kijatama. Yuji Kitajima with a great chance. Well, they fell completely asleep at the back, FC Tokyo. it was dragged wide. Slovic did well, made himself big, tried to make it as awkward as he could. But that was a great chance for the substitute to seal the 3 points. Again, Kitajima in there battling for it. That's really got the home fans into good voice. Albeit I'm sure also a bit disappointed that they're not celebrating a second goal. Which would have surely rubber-stamped the first win of the season across all competitions. Foul on Adelton. Well into the last 5 minutes of normal time here. I don't suspect there'll be a lot of time added on as well. We've had a pretty free-flowing game. Twisting and turning. Shot well blocked though by this intelligent defence. Shutoabe denied. Yamashita, part of the F.C.Tokyo side, trying to hold this one out. Even the forward is, I imagine, going to be right back wherever's needed now to see this game out. Still leading thanks to that goal from Tatsuya Tanaka midway through the first half. Well, famous last words, but looking relatively solid and good value for their 1-0 lead at the moment. Ryuki Mei, the substitute, wearing the captain's armband now for Avispa Fukuoka. Tokyo have certainly had their moments though. A near post header, all dealt with by Takumi Yamanoi. Also had to save Adelton's header, albeit that was a save you probably would expect the keeper to make. Easily the closest FC Tokyo have come was when Ryoya Ogowa's free kick in the first half hit the bar. Patient possession from FC Tokyo, but they can't be too patient. Arai. Oh, that's very cleverly done by Arai. Didn't quite end in a chance. Yuta Arai has really offered something since coming off the bench. Came on initially as a left back, and then he's actually been more effective when he's been switched out to a bit of a free roll on the right wing, cutting in onto his preferred left foot. His first appearance at senior level, and he would definitely predict pretty confidently it will be far from his last. He's looked more than capable at this level for FC Tokyo. That is one really exciting thing about this competition. It often is a breeding ground for youngsters to get their first chance in senior football. Delton appealing for the corner. Brazilian, one of the key goal threats for FC Tokyo. Still looking for his first of the new season, as are FC Tokyo. It's their second game of the new campaign. Delton scoring 17 across the past 2 seasons in the league for FC Tokyo. 6 in this competition as well. Now would be as good a time as any for him to pop up with one. Not cleared, and off the line. Taka Nakamura denied. There goes Arai, appealing for a handball. Referee not interested. Into stoppage time at the end of this game. In moments left for FC Tokyo to find something. Otherwise it will be back-to-back 1-0 defeats to start their season. 4 minutes added on, that's a lifeline for the home side. Corner headed away by Watara. Now cleared away. It's anywhere will do stuff really at this stage for Avispa Fukuoka. Slovic sends it back towards the danger zone. It's a nice turn from Sugimoto, but he runs out of room. Worth saying as well, hope you have enjoyed our coverage wherever you've been across the world watching this one. Delighted to say that it's part of a regular edition of matches being streamed across the J.League YouTube channel this season. So you stay with us right throughout the 6 group stage match days and then the knockout phases where we'll always be bringing you one select game to enjoy. Certainly enjoy discovering new talents such as Yuta Arai, who's been so good since coming on for the home side, who again just can't quite create something. Frustration for F.C.Tokyo fans. Number 3 watching on, sees his team edging closer and closer. That sent forward, slightly strange one because he caught the ball on Taka Nakamura. He thought it was going out of play. Conceded a pretty needless free kick, which is just going to give Avispa Fukuoka more time to run the clock down. We are into the last minute of the 4 added on, and it looks like the 3-time YBC J.LEAGUE Levain Cup winners in F.C.Tokyo will be starting this competition as they started their league season at the weekend with a 1-0 defeat. It's a 1-0 to Kawasaki Frontale the 18th of February, and now here in early March, set to lose 1-0 at Avispa Fukuoka. Unless we have a late twist. It's finished 1-1 between Shimizu Espals and Tokushima Vortis. 6 other games that kicked off at the same time as that, including the match you're watching. Full-time whistles right across Japan in this competition, going any second now. To Sanga beating Sagan Tosu 2-1 earlier on. The other game in this competition, Shonan, in this group I should say, Group D, Shonan Bellmare still 1-0 up away at Jubio Iwata. Well, we're in overtime in stoppage time now, and up comes Jakub Slovic. Maybe the goalkeeper can be the hero for F.C.Tokyo. Still yet to score this season. That would be quite a way to break their duck. Cross whipped in. It's not the best ball in, though, in truth. Doesn't beat the first defender, and that will be that. Avispa Fukuoka hold out. A first win for them this season across 4 matches in all competitions, to the delight of the home crowd here at the best Denki Stadium. It is back-to-back 1-0 losses in both the J.League And now the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain CUP for F.C. Tokyo. Still winless and scoreless in the new campaign for them. Delight for the home team, and particularly for Takumi Yamanoi, the third choice keeper, getting his opportunity tonight. He made a few decent saves that you'd expect him to make, and one particularly good stop from a near post header to keep his sheet clean and ensure his side got victory. Tatsuya Tanaka's goal in the 23rd minute, the difference between the sides. His first goal for Avispa Fukuoka since joining in the close season from the Urawa Red Diamonds. As both sides applaud and bow to the spectators in respect at the end of this one. It's the home team that have a win to bounce back from that 3-1 loss against
それではアビスパ福岡先制ゴールを決めました田中選手です。よろしくお願いします。移籍後初ゴールになりました。あのゴールシーン振り返ってもらえますか。
毎回ああいうところに飛び込むというか、誰かがシュート打った時のこぼれ球を逃さないとか、そういうことは大事にしているので、ああいうところにボールが、和子さんがいいボールをくれて、でそこのああいうところに入れたことがゴールにつながったと思うんで、しっかり決めきれてよかったです。
躍動感のあるシュートでしたが、イメージはできていたんでしょうか。
イメージはそうですね、ファーストタッチがうまく本当に決まったので、あとは空いてるところに流し込むだけだったっていう感じです。
田中選手は以前福岡の下部組織にも所属されていました。そういった中で移籍をされて福岡のホームでのゴールということで思いも違うんではないでしょうか。
そうですね、やっぱり地元のチームで自分が育った、下部組織に所属していましたし、小さい頃から応援に来ていたチームでもあるし、ずっと通い慣れたスタジアムで得点が決めることができた本当に特別な、感情が、生まれましたし、本当に嬉しかったです。
サポーターの皆さんも応援していると思いますが、これからはどんな活躍を見せていきたいですか。
やっぱり自分に求められるのはそのゴールだったりアシストだったりっていうのでチームの勝利に貢献することだと思うので、そういうゴールやアシストっていうところで、しっかりチームの力になれるように、しっかり頑張っていきたいです。
このゴールサポーターの皆さん待っていたと思います。最後にサポーターにメッセージをお願いします。
次戦もしっかりゴールやアシストで、チームに貢献してまたこうやってスタジアムで皆さんと、喜べるように喜びを分かち合えるように頑張りますので、また応援よろしくお願いします。
田中選手でした。ありがとうございました。
よいしょ。
それでは今シーズン公式戦初白星を挙げました長谷部監督です。初勝利おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
試合を振り返ってみていかがでしょうか。
厳しい試合でしたけれども、自分たちらしい戦いに持っていけたと、シュートも今年加入した達也がゴール取ったので非常に良かったと思います。
そのシュートシーンですけども前半22分でした。振り返ってみていかがでしょうか。
スカウティング通りに自分たちがプレーした選手たちがプレーした、そんな形でした。
これまでのリーグ戦、カップ戦を含めて守備に関しては手応えを感じていらっしゃいましたが、攻撃に関してはあとはチャンスの数を増やしたいということをおっしゃってました。今日の攻撃に関してはどうだったですか。
何度かゴールに迫るプレーありましたけれども、回数はまだまだ少ないと思います。
一方の守備に関してはゴールキーパーの山野井選手がですね何度もナイスセーブがあったと思います。振り返ってみていかがでしょうか。
日頃のトレーニングの成果出せたんじゃないでしょうか。非常に良かったと思います。
この後はしばらくはリーグ戦が続きますが、リーグ戦はここまで2試合引き分けということですけども、そのリーグ戦に関してはどんな思いがありますか。も
ちろん、同じように勝ちたいですし、負けなしで、いけるように、いい準備をしたいと思います。
長谷部監督でした。ありがとうございました。
はい、ありがとうございました。